guard for the night, presented by Horrible High, Junior ROTC LA 933. The commander for the night's color guard is Cadet Major Philip Adams. The state flag is held by Cadet Staff Sergeant Hunter Noblock. The American guard is Cadet Second Lieutenant Rhett Arsenault. The state guard is Cadet Technical Sergeant Nathaniel Moss.
From Hanville, Louisiana, Hanville Tiger Stadium, the First NBC Bank Prep Showcase is on the air. Tonight, the Covington Lions take on the Hanville Tigers as we are set for football in the by-district round, the first round of the high school playoffs. Hello, everybody. Ken Berthelot along with Wade Kaiser, and we are set for some good football, Wade. Before we do, they have just presented the colors, and in just a moment we will have the playing of our national anthem on this Veterans Day. Let's listen to our opening prayer and the playing of our national anthem.
And thank them so very much for their service. For those who will know victory, allow them to be happy. And for those who are denied, keep them from envy. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Great crowd as always on the home side here, where they support the Hanville team very, very well. The Hanville High School Marching Band performs our national anthem. The Hanville Tiger Marching Band and the playing of our national anthem. Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, we are set for some good football in this by-district or first round of the high school playoffs. Hanville and Covington, the 25th seed. Covington Lions come in with a record of 5-5, finished District 6-5A with a 4-4 record. Hanville, who is the 8th seed, comes in with an 8-2 record on a 6-game winning streak, 6-1 in District 7-5A. Wade Kaiser, your thoughts on this game, because I think we have the makings of a good one. Naturally, everybody thinks that the lower seed is going to be in a lot of trouble in a game like this, but we've got some pretty cool cats as a battle of the cats tonight, and these two teams can play pretty good football against each other.
Well, both of these teams bring in an outstanding running game. You know, Anthony Pooka Williams from Hanville, you know, we saw him earlier in the year against Destrehan. He is explosive. And then Devin Brumfield from Covington, who is one of the best running backs in the state of Louisiana, brings his talents here to Hanville tonight. And that, all of that put together with two good offensive lines up front is really going to put some pressure on some defense tonight. So I'm looking for a great running attack from both teams. We're going to see who can play defense and stop the run. Look for a lot of people stacked inside the box to be able to stop these two great running backs. And it should come out to be some pretty good, exciting football.
Now, running game is the key word. The Hanville Tigers quarterback Austin Perrin averages 15 attempts a game, and Joshua Alfaro of the Covington Lions averages 17 attempts a game. Perrin for the Hanville Tigers completes about 7 passes, maybe 8 passes a game, and Alfaro on the average completes 9 passes a game. So get set for a running game if the quarterbacks stay true to form. Hanville won the toss and deferred to the second half. So the visiting Covington Lions will have the football first in just a moment. We welcome you if you're watching anywhere along SportsNOLA's website tonight, anywhere in the nation. We welcome you to this fun game. You are going to watch two of the best running backs in high school football. Anthony Pooka Williams had an offer from Mississippi State as a freshman, and he's already got offers, so many we can't count them. And Devin Brumfield of the Covington Lions, he has some offers too. And again, one of the finest juniors, and you're watching two junior classes who came together as freshmen for both schools. And 2 years ago, Wade, we were talking about one of the best freshman classes for both of these schools. And now here they are 2 years later. We're talking about 3 years later. We're talking about one of the best junior classes in football around America.
Well, they're developed well. Two good coaching staffs do a great job taking their young kids, develop them, then get them into the weight room, teaching them the game. And here they are tonight playing as really good juniors.
Melanson kicks it off to our right, and it is picked up by the Covington Lions, Mason Cialana. And he'll have a return, and the Lions will put it into play. 1st and 10. We'll see Joshua Alfaro come in at quarterback. The Lions wearing their gold, white, and gold. And the Hanville Tigers at home tonight wearing their purple headgear, purple jerseys, and white pants. So starting at the 29-yard line, the Lions with, again, the junior, 6'3" junior, good size for Joshua Alfaro at quarterback. His team likes to run. Brumfield's the target. He's the guy that's going to carry the ball most of the times tonight. Carries there on 1st down for a few up the middle. Brumfield last week came off a career total and just I'm actually getting ahead of myself. Devin Williams on the stop. Brumfield had a good week last week with 123 yards and 2 touchdowns and a win over Mandeville.
Well, Hanville's going to, put 8 people in the box like they do now. They have 8 people stuck up in the box to stop Brumfield. Brumfield's going to run it downhill from his tailback positions. That's what we should see all night. That should be the MO for the Covington Lions all night tonight.
Runs into Chambers, Reynard, and Cabral. Nowhere to go on that play. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 5 now for the Covington Lions on their first offensive possession of the football game, trying to get their initial 1st down.
Brumfield averages 5.2 yards a carry. He does that tonight. He can get Covington into the end zone. It's going to put a lot of pressure on that Hanville defense if that takes place.
Besides Brumfield, I want you to touch on a few other players to watch. Here's a fake throw, and then Alfaro keeps and is smothered at the 35-yard line for a gain of 1. That'll bring up 4th down and 4 in a punting situation for the Lions, who will go 3 and out on the first series of this ball game.
Covington does a little inside blitz up front. They bring a linebacker and twist their front defensive lineman, kind of confuse the Covington offensive lineman right there. And Devin Williams comes free and applies the pressure to Alfaro. Alfaro had no place to go. He tucks the ball instead of making a poor choice and go heads and takes the sack.
Devin Jenkins averages 32 yards a punt. You're going to see Pooka Williams. And you saw a different style right there. No return possible.
Great coverage by the Covington punt unit right there. You get down the field in their lanes, and they cover right there. The punt returner catches the ball. He takes a step, and he's met real hard by a bunch of white jerseys and gold helmets.
Nowhere to go for Austin Russell on the punt return, and we will see the Hanville Tigers with their first offensive possession. Austin Perrin, the quarterback, 5'9", short, a senior, a lot of experience, and young man has just good football sense. Again, not a thrower. Though when he does throw, and he's completed 75 for 154, again, averaging only about 8 completions a game, he'll throw on 1st down to Pooka Williams, who's out in space, and that's where he's dangerous. And Pooka Williams all the way to the 44-yard line in Covington line territory on first down.
You're going to see Pooka Williams in a couple different spots tonight. They're going to play him in the slot, which I think is his natural position, will possibly be where he'll be in college. But you'll also see him at the tailback position. They'll move him around. They'll motion him across the formation, give him the ball on jet sweeps. Any way they can get the ball in his hands in open field is what they want to be able to do tonight.
Jaquan Jackson wide to the left, 2 wide receivers down to the right. Give to Devontae Clark. He's caught in the backfield and dropped for a yard loss, or maybe 2. Liam Bensafora on the stop.
Ventafora comes off the block right there and does a nice job getting penetration into the backfield, and there was no place to go right there for Devontae Clark. Runs into a wall, goes down right there, and it puts Hanville behind schedule. They're behind the chains now with a 2nd and long.
And that long is 12. 2nd down and 12. Play action. Perrin to throw, incomplete, and the closest player to that was the defensive back, Thomas Jawsaw, the free safety for the Covington Lions, incomplete. And you know what's different here is you're seeing more early passes from Hanville than I think Covington may have been expecting. This is a running football team, and they're throwing early.
Well, I think that mixes into a lot of run-pass options for the Hanville Tigers. What they're going to do is count the box, and if they get the coverage they want out there and the numbers in the box, they might throw the ball. Here they're sprinting out and throwing the ball.
Perrin on the run again, and the lefty throws. It is knocked down and picked off, knocked into the hands of a Lions player. Did he hold it?
Looks like he did.
Ralph Crandall on the pick. Goodness gracious, what a play.
They sprint Austin Perrin out to his left. He gets onto the edge, and then he throws a ball, and making a great play right there and coming up with the pick was a very nice job by the Covington defensive back, who has the first turnover of the game for this bi-district round in the playoffs.
Crandall's got 3 interceptions now. That's his 3rd of the year, and all have come in the last 2 games. How's that for playing some defense? So an interception by Crandall, first turnover of the game, gives the Lions the football, 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. And that's Brumfield pushing right up the center of the line, finding the going tough for 1 yard.
Brumfield does such a great job running the inside and the outside zone stretch game. Right there, they run the inside stretch. He's reading the A gap, B gap, and if it's cloudy, he's going to wind it back and look for running room, and that's what he did right there.
Real good second effort. Got a couple of extra yards on that. And again, give it to the horse, who just keeps it moving. Brumfield around the right side is across the 45 up to the 46-yard line for a gain of 2, bringing up a 3rd down 4 for the Covington Lions.
That's what Covington wants to do. They've got to get themselves into situations where they're 3rd and 4 or less tonight. That allows Brumfield to be able to do the most damage that he possibly can, keeping the ball on the ground and just grinding things out and keeping Pooka Williams over on that Hanville sideline.
Brumfield was 10 yards away from breaking the career rushing record, and he just broke it. And here's a keeper, and this is Alfaro for the 1st down. So, hey, what a nice night for Devin Brumfield, who just broke the career rushing record of 4,134 yards by Paul Nixon, who played from 1986 to 1990. Coach, as a coach, you know what type of numbers and what a record like that means.
Well, it's not only just great for the young man, but it's a testament to the school and the program, too. Because you got to remember, they're student athletes.
Yes.
So, he's got to be doing things right in the school, outside of school, and on the field in order to be able to get these opportunities. And, of course, he's got to have a great cast around him that will allow him to be able to break these type of records. And I got to think he's very proud of his offensive line that he's had the past couple of years in order to do this.
So at the 48-yard line, after no gain by Brumfield on the last carry, 2nd down 10. Give to Brumfield again. Hit at the line. He's shoved back. Crowd of people there.
Tell you what, he was met hard by I think that was number 70, Travaris Chambers, in on that play. Came off of a block, and then a whole host of purple jerseys came with that and just met him hard in the backfield to set up a huge third down and long.
Lost 3 on that play. Third down now 13 as they're on their side of the 50 at the Covington 49-yard line to throw. Got a man and can't connect with Mason Cialona. Incomplete. Had it on his fingertips. Catchable football, but just a tad bit in front of him.
The route was a curl route about 14 yards coming back to 12. And then there was a wheel route right off of it by the number 2 inside receiver. Both routes were open, and just not a very well thrown ball right there by Josh Alfaro. Should have been a completion for a first down.
So that forces the punt by Devin Jenkins. No fair catch called for, and a little bit of room, and it quickly closes. So Hanville will have it 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. No score in this one. We are almost halfway through the first quarter. 6 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the first quarter. And this will be Hanville's second attempt with the football. And here we go. Look at that hole right up the middle. My goodness, Anthony Pooka with a little slant right off the tackles, or the guards rather. And what a hole does he break, and a run before finally being brought down by Zach Day.
I'll tell you what, he exploded off of that inside zone. He hit the hole so fast, people's heads were turning. He just popped right through there, and you really saw the explosiveness and the speed of Pooka Williams right there as he hits open Day, and all of a sudden he's on the secondary. You look up as a safety, he's right in your lap, and he's running past you.
27-yard gain for the Tigers, 1st and 10. Anthony Williams stuffed in the backfield. Nowhere to go, and Vince Afora, you'll hear his name called a lot. 87 tackles, 10 sacks, 12 for loss. Make it 13 tackles, for actually 14 because he had one on the first series too.
Vince Afora destroys the block, comes off of it, and Anthony Pooka Williams runs face mask to face mask right into number 60, Vince Afora. No place to go right there. That's the way Covington is going to have to be able to do things tonight. They're going to have to get some penetration to slow down Pooka Williams before he actually gets a full head of steam and gets going.
2nd down, 13. This time Devontae Clark tries it up the middle. He has some running room, has the lost yardage and a lot more back down to the 37-yard line. That's a gain of 9.
Pooka Williams pops through there for the gain of 9 and puts it into an imaginable third down for Hanville. And we told you tonight you're going to see Pooka Williams not only at tailback, we'll see him out as a receiver in a slot. They'll move him all around in order to be able to get him the ball. Now they line him up at wide receiver.
Yeah, they love him in space. He's down to the bottom of your screen if you're watching. And instead they'll give to Cade Miguez his 19th carry of the year. And Cade has a few yards to the 35-yard line, gain of 2.
Going to be 4-down territory right here. Cade Miguez is a hard-running fullback type of player, which you'll see him line up at fullback. You'll see him line up at H-back. There's a lot of blocking on counters and power plays for the Tigers. Right there, he comes up about 3 yards short. Look for Hanville to go for this as they're in 4-down territory.
Yeah, knee went down at the 36, so that makes it 4th down and 3. Too far for a field goal, too close to punt. So, as Wade said, 4-down territory. Keep your eye on Pooka Williams because he gets the ball. Look at that cut to the inside. Then another cut back. Pooka Williams all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. My goodness, a 36-yard TD run by Anthony Pooka Williams with a beautiful inside cut, then back to the other side with a cut, and Pooka makes it go.
He makes a jump cut about 4 yards into that run, and he leaves the free safety who was stepping up to fill the hole. He leaves the free safety out of his shoes. Free safety had nowhere to go. He put a jump cut on him and just burst right past him like a lightning bolt. How fast was that hitting the hole?
Whew. Well, we did not get to see, and there's the point after kicked up and good Now, we didn't get a lot of Pooka Williams the first time because he was injured early in the first quarter, had a little ankle injury, and we never saw the real Anthony Williams the first time we saw this team play Destrehan.
Right, that was the first part of the year and the very opening of district play for this district, and it was a great football game. It was a 3-point ball game. Destrehan had to pull it out at the end, and Pooka Williams had a little injury that he was playing with that night, but he was still explosive. Destrehan did a nice job corralling him, and it was a great football game. But right there, this is the second time we've seen him there. That particular play right there shows the potential of this young man and how explosive he is off of one cut.
Man, the cut to the outside, the cut back to the inside, but more importantly, I think you hit the speed that he hit that hole.
Well, he hits the hole, makes the cut, then accelerates off the cut north and south. That's what makes him such a great running back, the acceleration off of one cut.
Drop football picked up. And we're coming back the other way. A few yards on the return. Milton Clark on the return, and Covington now has to answer with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to play in the first quarter, down 7-0. The 25th seed.
Again, the secret for Covington is a lot of Brumfield. They're going to do that, but they've got to get themselves into third down manageable situations. So it's important what they do on first down. First down is often overlooked. Everybody says third down conversion rate. I always looked at it as first down conversion rate.
Well, Alfaro on the keeper. And you talk about first down. Well, he just got it done on first down with an Alfaro keeper for the run. Alfaro with the first down has rushed 92 times for 563 yards coming in here. He can run the football, and for a big guy, that's impressive at 6'3". He's rushed 3 times now for 20 yards in this game.
Well, Ken, everybody likes the stat on third down. I always like the stat on first down. What were you doing on first down to keep yourself on chart, on track, on time? And that's so important. Like right there, they didn't. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. They run into a huge wall right there, purple jerseys, and now it's going to put them behind time, behind track, off track, and bring up 2nd and 10.
That rugby scrum was led by Colby Ambler, a defensive lineman, on the stop to make that 2nd and 10. They'll try Brumfield on the play action. Here's the toss. It's tipped and caught. Completed down to the 40-yard line by Milton Clark. How about that? And that's a 22-yard gain.
Double slant routes by the 1 and 2 receivers right off the hands of the initial receiver, and it bounces right into Milton Clark. Hello, right there, good catch, picks it up real close to the turf and picks up a first down. It's moving the chains for the Covington Lions.
First down, Covington. Brumfield on the run, right, hits the wall. Pushing for an extra yard and will gain 1 to the 39-yard line with 2.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. The Lions trying to answer the Hanville touchdown with one of their own.
I love the outside zone stretch. That's what Covington is running right there. What Brumfield needs to do is, the old rule of the outside zone stretch is when I run into a mountain, I've got to climb it. Because if I keep trying to run up the back of that mountain, I'm running up the back of my offensive lineman. He needs to look for that north-south cut a little bit quicker because the crease is there.
Kejon Batiste has been very quiet. Receiver at the bottom of your screen. This time they don't go to him. Instead, they go to Milton Clark. Clark with the reception. He's got the first down, and he is at the 25-yard line for a gain of 14.
Clark is a hot receiver right now. He comes off of a slant route. It looks like a run-pass option for Covington. He pulls the ball out of the belly of Brumfield. Alfaro does and hits Clark on the run on the slant route for a great pickup.
2 receptions, 36 yards for Milton Clark. He's become the go-to receiver right up the middle. Look at this. Brumfield almost breaks it to the end zone. What a hole that time. A Mack truck could have gone through that one.
Well, when you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. Hanville brought the house right there. They brought all 3 linebackers and ran right past Brumfield. That's the thing bad about the blitz. If you don't have it as a run blitz, all gaps taken care of, that crease is opening up real wide, and all of a sudden that running back is running up to your safety, and he's running around in your secondary, and that puts Covington inside the 10-yard line.
19-yard gain on that one. Here's Brumfield, flags down. He'll wake his way to the end zone, but hold everything. This one might be coming back from motion. Brumfield jumped.
I think Brumfield leans right there a little bit too early. He's leaning out on his toes. Flag goes on the ground. They're going to bring it back for illegal procedure.
Gains of 22, 14, and 19 yards. Got the Lions to the 6-yard line. Brumfield gets in, but he was too anxious to take the handoff and find his way to the end zone. Jumped early. That'll cost the Lions 5, and they're coming back to the 11-yard line. First and goal at the 11 for the Lions. Look at that stacked eye. Brumfield behind all the blockers. He'll get most of the lost yardage back and pushes near the 6-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 7-yard line on first down.
Covington's going heavy. They're bringing in 2 tight ends, and they had the stacked backfield, as you said, Ken, bringing in 2 blocking backs in front of Brumfield. They run an inside ISO, trying to isolate the bubble between the guard and the tackle up on the linebacker. Hanville does a nice job pinching down and squeezing it off.
Here goes right behind Jeremy Driver. Brumfield to the end zone. Touchdown! And that big stacked eye opened up a big hole, as did the offensive line. And Covington, who had to answer that Hanville score, does so with a touchdown of their own. Brumfield from 7 yards out with less than a minute to play. 45 seconds in the first quarter. An extra point from tying this one.
Gap play by the offense. They double down at the point of attack. They kick out and lead the third back that's in the backfield into the hole to block the linebacker. There's nobody there in a purple jersey. He walks into the end zone. Very nicely executed play by the Covington Lions.
Hanville calls a timeout on the extra point attempt. And I'm not sure why on that one, Wade. It just looked like nobody was, unless they had not enough or too many men on the field.
That's exactly what it was. It was a personnel issue. You shouldn't be having personnel issues in Week 11. They have to waste a timeout. Hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt them.
Yeah, burning a timeout with 45 seconds to play on an extra point.
That's the reason why I don't have any more hair.
45 seconds to play first quarter. And the Covington Lions are a point away off the toe of Devin Jenkins from tying this game up. Big rush, and he just got the extra point kick up and through. We are tied at 7, but wow, that was close, and what a rush by the Hanville extra point block team. So we have timeout of the field, 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. We're tied at 7. This is the First NBC Bank Prep Showcase. We'll be back right after this. We are back. The Lions have just tied it up on a 7-yard touchdown run by Devin Brumfield. And the Lions try a squib kick down low. It is recovered. And here's your Pooka Williams versus Devin Brumfield statistics. Williams, three carries, 60 yards on that last drive, and Brumfield 10 for 40.
Well, we're going to see a lot of both tonight. I mean, we knew that coming into this game. They're both outstanding athletes, and like now they have Pooka Williams lined up and out in the slot.
And they're looking to throw, not to him, but on the other side, and it hits the receiver's hands and is incomplete. That was to Jaquan Jackson. I always look at it, if you can get your hands on it, it's a catchable football.
Well,
not always true, but
depends on whose hands.
Well, well said, Wade Kaiser.
I've seen a lot of receivers get their hands on the ball, and they still can't catch the football.
Well, Jamal Bird.
They usually become offensive linemen then.
And Pooka Williams are now on the upside of your screen. 37 seconds to play in the first quarter, and they'll give to Devontae Clark. He'll try the middle, and a flag is thrown at the line of scrimmage way up on the top side of your screen at the 40-yard line. Liam Vincifora on the tackle.
defensive four, I tell you what, he's everywhere. This guy plays hard inside. Sheds blocks, gets off of blockers, and makes nice tackles. Right there he makes an ankle tackle on Pooka Williams for a nice loss.
Now you see we have a decline of illegal motion on Hanville. Our officials are from the Thibodaux Officiating Association. David Miller is the referee. The Thibodaux Association with David Miller, the referee. David used to be a coach at H.L. Bourgeois, I believe.
Years ago.
Long time ago.
Did a good job at H.L. Bourgeois.
Yes, he did.
Decided to get onto the side where he's going to get yelled at now.
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah.
A lot more. Yes.
By both sides instead of just one side. There's a throw that caught. What a catch downfield. My goodness. A big catch by the Hanvilles. Brandon Johnson.
Brandon Johnson runs a rail route right down the boundary, and I tell you what, Austin Perrin put that ball right on the money, and Brandon Johnson does a nice job catching that ball and getting a few yards, and it's going to set Hanville up inside their inside the Covington 30-yard line.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, a 40-yard reception to move Hanville down the field, so make it 30-yard reception. My bad, 30-yard reception. And with that, the first quarter has come to an end here at Hanville Tiger Stadium in Hanville, Boutte, Louisiana. We are tied at 7. Hanville and Covington with the Hanville Tigers on the drive. We'll be back right after this with the second quarter of play. We're ready to go with second quarter action. Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, our SportsNOLA crew, Matt and Jason Collins, and David Baust covering with us today, and we're so glad to have him helping with statistics. We appreciate it. Devontae Clark on the first play of the second quarter, tied at 7. Hanville now moving to our left in the purple headgear and jerseys. Covington in the gold, white, and gold. The 25th seed right now giving the 8th seed everything they can handle.
Well, it's amazing that both of these offenses want to be able to move the ball and also burn time off the clock because it keeps their other tailback off the field from their opponent. You know, the more times those guys touch the ball, the more trouble they can cause you. So they want to put together and make sure that this offense stays on the field and puts together a nice drive, which will come away with some points.
Anthony Williams starts to the right, reverses his field to the left, breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles. Look at Anthony Williams, breaks a 4th, and finally the 5th guy gets him inside the 20-yard line at the 18-yard line. And let me tell you, that's one of the prettiest 9-yard runs you'll ever see.
Well, I'll tell you what, he starts to his right. There's nowhere to go. Over there, Vince Afora, we've been calling his name so far a lot on the night, is there to greet him. And then what does he do? He says, no, I don't want to go this way. Let me come back the other way and pick up 9 yards. Athletic. That's the term.
Pooka Williams,
athletic.
4 carries, 69 yards, having a night. Having a good night. Now keep an eye on Bird and Jackson up at the top of your screen. Give to Pooka Williams. Look at the cut inside. Caught down low. Shakes the tackle. Shakes another inside the 10. Anthony Williams is putting on a show. A Houdini show in escapability. And he just continues to make magnificent runs. Moves the chains. First and goal as he's down to the 6-yard line for a 12-yard gain.
Thing that is so exciting about him is he can set up a block, make a cut, and accelerate off that one cut and just burst right past you. And all you're getting a piece of him is an ankle. And that's exactly what happened right there.
We didn't get to see much of him, as we said earlier, in the broadcast on the First NBC Bank Pro Showcase on WHNO because he had an ankle injury suffered in the first quarter, and it bothered him. Devontae Clark on this run. He'll push forward to close to the 5-yard line where Cody Turner makes the tackle.
Cody Turner does a nice job right there, getting off his block, stepping up and making a nice play on Devontae Clark.
Austin Perrin went over to the sideline, talking with Coach Nick Salterformaggio in his third year. 2 trips to the quarterfinals with Hanville after winning the first state championship ever in East Jefferson history. Pass into the end zone, incomplete, intended for Bird. It was just a little bit high and behind him.
Austin Perrin wants that one back. He had a wide open receiver off a slant route, and he just airmails it above his head. It's like in baseball. The catcher had to stand up to catch that one. It was real high. Jamal Bird just couldn't get his fingers up that high to catch the ball.
And Bird's 6'2".
Well, so that tells you how high the airmail was. Perrin wants that one back for sure. That would have been 6 if he had just brought it down a couple of inches.
3rd and goal. Perrin on the roll. He's a left-hander. He's thrown against the grain. If he can get it off, he'll fire way too high, incomplete.
Great coverage right there by the Lions. They brought a linebacker, the Sherman Wallace, on a blitz, but also applying pressure there was Anthony Ford, the very fine defensive lineman for the Lions. It's going to put Hanville in a situation where they're going to have to think about a field goal.
Yeah, 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. Perrin, 1 of 6. So this will be a 23-yard field goal. Let's see how he does. Like an extra point. And he kicks it up and good. Dalton Melanson. Dalton Melanson with the extra point. Well, I said with the extra point like field goal, with the field goal from 23, but when you're struggling from getting the ball between the goalposts, you look at that as an extra point, but it's really a field goal. But more importantly, it's a good field goal, and Hanville is up 10-7.
Well, now comes the other running back from the other side's going to come out here and put on his show. Boy, I tell you what, these are 2 outstanding running backs. We're probably seeing tonight 2 of the best running backs in the state of Louisiana, and both of these guys are juniors. You know, they both have offers. All colleges are drooling over these guys. And just because you commit to one place doesn't mean that the recruiting process is over, Ken. They'll still have people coming after them and making offers and things of that nature. So, you know, in today's game of recruiting, it's never anything for somebody to recant on their first commitment and go with somebody else. We've seen that happen many times.
Mason Cialina and Milton Clark are deep. 9:24 to play in the first half. A field goal of 23 yards separates these two and gives the higher seed Hanville Tigers the lead. Look at the hole. Oh, it's there. Going through it is Cialina. Cialina in a foot race. The kicker moves him over to the left side, deflects his path, and that's where the Hanville players are able to catch up with him and bring him down. But my goodness, Mason Cialino, a 71-yard return to give the Lions great field position.
Well, it was the perfect type of kick. It's line drive off of Melanson's foot straight to Cialino. Cialino catches it, steps up, and comes out of the gun like a bullet and hits the crease, and then all of a sudden he's running past everybody. Those are the type of kicks you don't want to have. You want them high and deep. You don't want them low and line drive and deep, and that puts pressure on your coverage teams, and when you put pressure on your coverage teams with good athletes, this is the result.
Special teams.
Well, in big games like this and all playoff games, that's the third. Obviously, in all football games, it's the third factor.
They're going to stack that eye and then give to Brumfield, and Brumfield takes 3 Hanville Tigers on a ride inside the 15-yard line. Shows you the power of Devin Brumfield, 5'11", 205, one of the super juniors in Louisiana high school football and really one of the super juniors around the nation.
Running right at him in a heavy formation, 2 tights, 3 backs in the backfield, running isolation right at the linebackers.
Brumfield, big hole. Brumfield to the end zone. Touchdown, Brumfield.
Well, I'll tell you what, right there they run the power off tackle. They get the double down gap play kick out. The third back is up on the linebacker, and Number 22 from Hanville, Hunter LeBlanc, steps up in the hole. Didn't want any part of Devin Brumfield right there. Brumfield steps right around him and scores.
12 carries, 60 yards. Brumfield with the touchdown, his second of the night. And this will give the Lions their first lead of the night with 8:25 to play in the first half. Here comes your extra point try, and it is up by Devin Jenkins, and good. 14-10. The Lions with the lead, and Brumfield has put on a show, as has Anthony Pooka Williams. But what made that one go was Cialina's 71-yard kickoff return to the 20-yard line. That made it easy for the Lions offense, and whoo!
Well, you've got to be able to cover kicks. How many times have you heard me say that, special teams are always going to play somewhere into a game, and whether it's a blocked kick because of a protection, whether it's a coverage team has a breakdown, kicker misses a particular kick he should have made, somewhere on the night there's going to be a play on special teams that's going to be made that can make you or break you. And you don't want it to break you like it just did right there.
Well, that's the first lead, as we said, for the Covington Lions, and they're going to squib kick it. They're not putting it anywhere close to Anthony Pooka Williams, or the very speedy Devontae Clark back there. So they'll give up a few yards.
I mean, would you kick the ball to Pooka Williams?
They're going to return it to the 30, so give up an extra 10 and trust your defense.
I'm going to tell my special team coordinator, you see that guy number 7? Kick it away from him.
Easy rule. If you see 7, the ball's not going there, okay, guys? That's it. Very simple.
Pretty simple. That would have been developed on Sunday as I was looking at film.
Without question. From the 43-yard line on first down. Look at this hole. My goodness. Devontae Clark. Goodness gracious. What does he do on first down? And he's not one of the big-named runners.
Well, let me tell you,
he gets it done.
Devontae Clark comes into the game with 941 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's a very capable running back. They've got an explosive running game with these two guys.
23-yard game, Devontae Clark. Again, this is the Devontae Clark show, and he is down to the 11-yard line. My goodness, they're going to mark him down at the 13, Devontae Clark. Back-to-back runs. We have a Covington line player down on the field, back up at the 33-yard line.
Covington's going to have to make an adjustment here. They're going to have to do something because it looks like Swiss cheese. I mean, these guys are running untouched into the secondary, running right at that Covington front. They're either going to have to bring somebody down in the box, an extra man that can't be blocked, play 8 people in the box. They're going to have to do something to make an adjustment right here. First thing you've got to take away from Hanville is you're going to have to take away the running game, just like Hanville has to take away Covington's running game. If they're throwing the football, then you're happy. You're going to have to make them connect on passes. At least they're not running free into my secondary.
Covington line defensive tackle Cody Turner is the injured Lion that they're attending to right now.
Looks like they're attending to his right knee.
Gives us a chance to talk and give you a few scores here. Brother Martin and McKinley, no score in the first quarter. Destrehan ahead of Terrebonne 14-0. In the second quarter, we've got in the second quarter, we got Landry Walker leading Fontainebleau 7-3. Anything strike you here? Just talk about it. Central leading Live Oak 7-0 in the second. St. Amant and Slidell scoreless in the first.
That strikes me a little bit.
St. Paul's ahead of Shaw 14-0 second quarter. Ouachita leading Walker 6-0 second quarter. So we're set to go. And in for the Covington Lions in replacement is Lane Furman. He is a sophomore lineman coming in place of Cody Turner. Let's see if they run right at the sophomore lineman who is at the right tackle spot. They go right over his spot. There goes Devontae Clark, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown.
Tell you what, that Hanville offensive line right there just destroyed everything in a white jersey. They've done it on the past 3 plays. Not much resistance put up by the Covington defensive line right there. Linebackers out of position, also got walled off as Devontae Clark walks into the end zone for the Hanville Tigers.
A 13-yard TD by Devontae Clark. And that is his first. Anthony Williams has the other, and Dalton Melanson will attempt the point after, and he kicks it up, and it's good. So there's timeout on the field with 7 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first half, and Hanville has retaken the lead 17-14 over the Covington Lions. We'll be back right after this. Hanville back in the lead over Covington, 17-14. Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, and Jason Collins. And here's the squib kick of their own that bounced off a Covington player and is saved by the Covington Lions, Grayson Lloyd.
Well, I mean, okay, so you give Devin Brumfield the ball at the 45-yard line, his 45-yard line. You don't want to kick it deep because you don't trust your coverage teams. It's Week 11. You got to kick that ball deep. You got to trust your coverage teams in Week 11 going into the playoffs to make sure that what didn't happen on the last series not take place. You don't want to give Devin Brumfield the ball right here at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, you're giving him, and there's Brumfield, but this time he is smothered in the backfield. Caught from behind, trying to sweep the left end, and the Hanville defense is on the spot.
Tell you what, linebacker bursts right through right there and comes off of a block and makes a nice play in the backfield, and it's going to put Covington now behind the sticks where they don't want to be at second and about 14.
A loss of 4. Alfaro wants to throw, and now he'll tuck it under and run. Escapes 1, 2, 3, and finally brought down at the 48-yard line.
You know, Alfaro's a good athlete himself. He's had 177 attempts this year throwing the football, 90 completions. But here's the deal. When he has the run out of trouble, he's ran for over 500 yards this year, Ken.
Gain of 9. Helped him a little bit. But it brings up 3rd down 5. So here's a big 3rd down for the Lions to keep this drive going. Play action, the pump, the run. Alfaro will pick up the 1st down and then is brought down with a real nice open field tackle by Elgin Collins.
The thing I like about Alfaro is he extends the play. Everything's covered up right there by the Hanville secondary. Nowhere to go off of the play action pass. So what does he do? He tucks the ball and runs out of there. He's a fine athlete. He can get away from people, and he extends the play, and he picks up the 1st down. He's gamey. That makes him real gamey, and he becomes now an issue when he doesn't have anywhere to go, and he's going to scamper on out of there and apply a lot of pressure to the defense.
6 carries, 38 yards for the quarterback, and that completion right there to Mason Cialona.
Again, off of play action. Linebackers bite on the play action right there, which they should. With Brumfield getting the fake from Alfaro, he steps in there and throws a nice slant pass right there and gets the great completion.
Gain of 7, a little bit more than 7, almost 8. Let's call it 2nd down 2. And again, we're seeing Covington throw the football a whole lot more than they normally throw the football, just under 6 minutes to play in this second quarter. The first half, 5:39 on the clock to be exact. So on 2nd and short, we'll see that big stacked eye. And the give to Brumfield, who follows his blockers, bounces off the pile, spins to the right, and goes down at the 33-yard line.
He keeps his legs churning, and he bounces off the pile, and he rolls out of there, and he picks up a nice little gain right there, which will bring up 3rd and 1. It seems like
picked up 2.
Right. It seems like the motive tonight for Covington is anytime they get inside 3 yards or 4 yards, they're going to go to that heavy offense where they're going to bring in 2 tight ends in their full stack backfield. It's going to be interesting to see what Hanville does to counter it. What are they going to do to move people into the box?
Well, they may call timeout. Let's see if they do. If Hanville burns their second timeout to figure out, or who calls timeout here. Maybe this is an official's timeout because they're talking about it. Again, Thibodaux Association, David Miller is the referee.
I think they had to set the chains correctly, so the officials stop the clock for a minute, get the chains set, and I think they're ready to play. They're winding the clock now.
3rd down 1. To keep this drive alive, Brumfield right over the middle, and he's got the first down at the 30-yard line. Picked it up, needed 1, got 3. They'll move the chains. First down, Covington.
Hanville brings 10 people up into the box. That's their answer when they're going heavy. Covington, when they go heavy, and I tell you what, the Covington offensive line did a nice job right there creating running room for Devin Brumfield to run downfield and pick up the first down. A lot of purple jerseys in that box right now. You can see them all stacked up inside. You can count them up. There's 10 of them. Now there's 11.
Fumble on the handoff to Brumfield, and Hanville has it.
I don't think he got that ball very clean off of the handoff. It looked like Alfaro might have put it on his hip even before Brumfield could get started. He's grasping for the ball on his hip, and where's it going to go? It's going to go on the ground.
Fumble on the handoff. Wow. And that's the second big turnover for Covington. They had the interception back in the first quarter. Still trailing by only 3, 4:26 to play in the first half. And Hanville has the football at their own 32-yard line. So let's see if the Tigers from Hanville can just hand that ball off to Anthony Williams, who, look again, breaks a couple of tackles when it looked like he would be stopped in the backfield and ends up getting positive yardage across the 35 up to the 36-yard line, a gain of 4.
Inventing ways to get the ball into Anthony Pooka's hands. They line him up out at the flanker receiver. They bring him across in motion on the jet sweep, hand him the ball, try to get him out onto the flank. He makes a couple people miss, as you saw, and he picks up 4 yards. Tell you what, he is so fast, so quick, you couldn't catch him in a phone booth.
It's so much fun to watch Anthony Williams and Devin Brumfield run the football. And, folks, they're only juniors if you missed that earlier. Look at Williams, find the hole, push forward. How hard is he to bring down as he pushes across the 40 up to the 42-yard line? It's going to be just short, depending on the spot. I think just short of a first down by maybe a half yard.
A lot of credit goes to that Hanville offensive line. Covington had 9 people in the box that time playing man coverage all over the field. 9 people up in the box. They do a great job blocking at the point of attack, and Pooka Williams, of course, explodes through the hole and brings it close to a first down, which they're going to measure.
5 carries, Pooka Williams, 90 yards. 5 carries, 90 yards. By the way, we haven't said it in this broadcast. Everybody says it every broadcast. Where did he get the nickname Pooka? Mama liked it. No special reason, no meaning. She just liked it, gave it to him as a baby, and it's stuck all these years. Pooka.
That's good enough for me.
That works for everybody.
The way he runs, you can call him, just don't call him late for supper.
Is this second quarter? Second quarter, Mandeville 35, Thibodaux nothing.
Well, wow. I was wrong about that one. I think Mandeville woke up after Covington's big upset of them last week, and I think a 17-10 ball game there at Mandeville, where Covington got the better of them in that Week 10 district game on the North Shore. Mandeville going down to Thibodaux tonight, if I'm not mistaken, and putting a whooping on the Thibodaux Tigers.
Just inches short. Inches short, and the push for the first down, and they get it. Now the score to update you with, Errett is up 21-0 with 9:54 left in the second quarter. Wow.
That's Arid over Houghton. That's who the winner of this game will have in the regional round, second round playoffs of the 5A LHSAA brackets.
At the 45-yard line, first down. Anthony Williams, this time the Lions stuffed him in the backfield. Anthony Ford, the senior.
Anthony Ford blows through there. He slants inside, comes underneath the block, and meets Devontae Clark in the backfield. Nowhere to go. Loss, 2nd and 15.
5-yard loss for Ford. That is his 16th tackle for loss. He's also got 13 sacks on the year. Hanville, with that 3-point lead, would like to add a little more and eat up the rest of this clock. There's the pass to Devontae Clark, and Clark gets the lost yardage back and a few extra yards to boot up to the 47-yard line. Clock running 2:20, 2:19, 2:18 to play in the first half.
Slip screen. Devontae Clark steps off to the right like he's blocking the defensive end, slips in behind him. They drop the ball over the oncoming rush of the defensive line, and he has a nice pickup, puts him back in the stick, still is 3rd and long.
3rd down long to keep this drive alive and eat up the rest of the clock. Perrin's pass left side is caught short of the first down by Jamel Bird, who's dropped immediately. 148, 147. Hanville has 2 timeouts remaining should they want to use one here.
He doesn't get out of bounds on the hitch route on the sideline. He was fighting desperately to get over there to stop the clock. Just doesn't do it. Brings up 4th and 2 with the clock still running, 134, 133.
Interesting as we go here. At the 47-yard line of the Covington Lions, Hanville letting the play clock tick down. 1:15 on the game clock in the first half of play. And now they call timeout right before the play clock runs down with 1:09 to play in the half.
The whole idea was not to give a lot of time left for Covington and Devin Brumfield to get the ball back. So they take all the time off of the 25-second clock, let the play clock run all the way down, use the timeout. They're going to punt the ball, try to pin them down deep, and not leave much time on the clock for an explosive Covington offense.
With 3:50 remaining in the first, Warren Easton leading Franklinton 7-0. Little score update for you there. Dalton Melanson for the Tigers into punt. Ponchatoula leading Como 7-3 at the half.
Covington doesn't put anybody deep. I think they're expecting that the ball is going to go into the end zone, or they might be expecting the fake.
Hey, Nick Salterfamaggio, the master of the trick plays. Not here, though. He's going to protect the 3-point lead against a very good 25th seed, and Hanville will down it at the 1-yard line. How about that with 56 seconds to play in the first half?
Well, here's the issue here now for the Covington Lions. With 99 yards in front of them, Hanville still has 1 timeout left. They can call timeout, possibly put them in a situation where that they could get the ball back on a punt with a little bit of time left on the clock in good field position and take a shot at that end zone. So Covington's going to have to be very careful here, number one, with taking the snap in their own end zone virtually, not to give up a safety. But number two is try to make sure that they force Hanville to use that timeout pretty quick.
46-yard punt by Melanson backs the lines up, and as Wade said, careful here. Alfaro from his own end zone's got to just push out past the goal line and get him 2 more yards to the 3-yard line and a little bit of breathing room. And I think the Lions would just like to let this clock run out this far back. They're only trailing by a field goal, 17-14. Clock at 30, game clock rather, at 34 seconds, play clock at 22. They'll have to snap it one more time. This time Alfaro is at least out of the end zone and taking the snap behind his center. He's standing at about the 1-yard line. He's going to let as much time run off the play clock, and he'll just jump into the line from maybe a yard, getting back to the line of scrimmage, and the game clock will tick down. Neither team will stop it in the first half of play. We have played one half of football here at Hanville Tiger Stadium. And here in Hanville, a field goal has given the Hanville Tigers a 3.17-14 lead over the Covington Line in a battle of the Cats. The 25th seed Covington Lions, 14, trailing the 8th seed Hanville Tigers with 17. They're Hanville leading 17-14 at the half. We'll take a break and be back with our halftime show in just a moment. Prep Showcase. We're back at Hanville at halftime. The Hanville Tigers lead the Covington Lions by 3, 17-14. Ken Berthelot, along with Wade Kaiser, Nat and Jason Collins, and David Faust is working some stats for us tonight and covering the game for SportsNOLA. It's a pleasure for us to be with you, and hope you're enjoying this game. And what a fantastic game it is. There's a battle of the running backs. Devin Brumfield for the Covington Lions and Anthony Pooka Williams for the Hanville Tigers, a battle of the Super Juniors, and both of these teams have a lot of real good Super Juniors playing. Let's start off with just Wade Kaiser before we recap all the scoring. Your thoughts on the first half of this game?
Well, Ken, we knew what we were going to see here. We're going to see two explosive running backs come out and do what they do best, and that's, run the football. And, the secret is getting the ball in these guys' hands. Now, they do it a couple of different ways, okay? Hanville is going to put Brumfield back there. They're not going to spread him around, and they're going to hand him the ball, and he's going to run downhill. Hanville spreads Pooka Williams around. They're going to give it to him by motion across the formation. They're going to toss him the ball. They're going to throw him the ball out in the flats and little bubble screens and things like that and get him open in wide open spaces. Two different ways of doing it, but the bottom line is they're doing it. They're putting it in their two stars' hands, because if you look at it, Brumfield, 15 carries, 60 yards already on the night, and Pooka Williams, 7 carries, 90 yards of explosive runs. So these two guys are, as promised, are putting on that running show for us.
Before we look at stats, let's recap some of the scoring. Hanville had won the toss and deferred to the second half. Covington went 3 and out on the first series, and they punt the ball away to Hanville, and then suddenly Ralph Crandall gets his third interception in the last 2 games. And, that was a nice turnover right there and gave Covington the football. Ralph Crandall now with 3 interceptions, as we said, in the last 4 games. So he's playing some real nice defense. But Covington couldn't do anything with the turnover. They punt the football away on Hanville's first turnover of the game. And then we see Anthony Pooka Williams at his best with 2 of the most beautiful cuts you'll ever see. A cut to the outside, a cut back to the inside, and a 36-yard run for a touchdown, and a 7-0 Hanville lead with 3:41 to play in the first quarter. But the Lions answered that with a beautiful drive and big plays of 22, 14, and 19 yards, ending up with a Devin Brumfield 7-yard touchdown run to tie the game at 7. Then the first quarter ran out, and as we get into the second quarter, once again, Hanville is driving, but the Covington defense holds, and they have to settle for a 23-yard field goal by Melanson, and it's a 10-7 lead for the Hanville Tigers with 9:24 to play in the second. Covington comes right back, though. They drive with the kickoff, the ensuing kickoff, and Mason Cialino returns it 71 yards to the 20-yard line, and it didn't take long for Brumfield to run 12 yards into the end zone for a touchdown, and Covington's first lead of the game at 14-10 in the second quarter, but midway through the second quarter. But back comes Hanville. They're trailing by 4. They realize there's a sense of urgency, and it became the Devontae Clark drive. He had some beautiful runs and capped it off with a 13-yard touchdown run, and Hanville retook the lead at 17-14, which is where we are at halftime. Interestingly, though, it looked like Covington was going to get the ball moving and get a drive moving, but they had a miscue on a handoff between quarterback Joshua Alfaro and running back Devin Brumfield. They fumbled it for their only turnover of the first half, and Hanville couldn't do anything with that. They ended up punting the ball away in the closing moments of the first half, a 46-yard punt that was downed at the 1-yard line, and then Covington just ran the clock out safely at their own 1, ended up getting it out to the 3-yard line, and that's where we are, 17-14 at the half. Hanville leading Covington. And right now, in the first quarter, Slidell is leading St. Amant by a point, 7-6. Wow,
that's a surprise. It's great we're getting all these scores and we're able to give them to you as quickly as we get them. It kind of keeps all of the fans up on what's happening in the brackets because, it is one and done now, Ken.
It's a new season, but it's a one and done season.
It's a one and done season. And
David Faust doing a great job of keeping up with keeping us updated with the scores that we can pass on to you. So all of that, let's take a look at some of the statistics that you find very impressive. So as we look at the first half statistics, what strikes you, Wade? Let's give them first.
Well, what strikes me first is, obviously, the running yards by both of the quality running backs we're seeing here tonight. Anthony Pooka Williams touches it 7 times for 90 yards. 7 times for 90 yards. And then Brumfield, 15 times. He's a workhorse for those guys. 60 yards, and he breaks their school rushing record tonight. The long-standing Covington rushing record over there coming into the game tonight. He needed, I believe, was
4,134 was the record. He broke that on his third carry. He needed 10 yards.
10 yards, yeah.
And he broke that on his third carry. And Paul Nixon held the record from 1986 to 1990.
And that's impressive to me because, when you come in and you're 4,134 yards in your career and you're breaking that record, you're doing things right. You're not only doing things right as an athlete and running back, but your team is doing things right, offensive line-wise, offensive coordinator, offensive staff. So that really jumps out at me. If you look at the overall offense tonight so far, Hanville has 185 total yards on the night, 145 for the Covington Lions coming in. So it's pretty close from that standpoint. Now, the other thing that jumps out at me, Ken, is, Hanville has another back that is running well tonight, too, Devontae Clark. He came into the season with 941 yards, 7 touchdowns. Coming in tonight, should I say, on the season. And already tonight, he has a touchdown to his name. And he is a fine part of that 1-2 punch that Hanville can throw at you, allow to put Pooka Williams out on the flank in a slot, and then turn around to give the ball to Devontae Clark, who is a fine running back.
Well, without question, and I want to go back just for a moment and talk about Brumfield breaking the Covington High School career rushing record, surpassing Paul Nixon, because the coach at the time, Paul Nixon's coach, was, of course, Jack Salter himself, who's here watching grandson Greg Salter coach the Covington Lions, so he got to see Brumfield break that record of a young man that he coached. And I know Paul Nixon brings back great memories. And if we were down there, as we look at the binoculars, look across the way, we see Jack Salter, the retired coach, sitting there and enjoying what Brumfield could do tonight.
Well, here's the thing, Ken. Brumfield's only a junior, so he's going to add to that 4,134 yards, not only tonight and possibly the rest of the season, depending on if they can win here tonight, but his senior year, too, if he stays healthy, which, of course, we hope that he does. So
and don't forget,
you're going to see that number go up. It's going to be a huge mark for somebody to shoot at after he graduates.
And don't forget, big 6'3" quarterback Joshua Alfaro for Covington, also in that super junior class. So, again, you're talking about some real fine. Kajan Batiste, who's been very quiet in this game, a junior. Alonjay Earlycut, a junior. Mason Cialona, just unbelievable. So, anyway, we got a great junior class there. So, let's take a break, and we'll be back with our second half kickoff in about 2 minutes. All of that coming your way, and we just want to remind you at halftime, it is 17-14 Hanville leading Covington by a field goal. This is SportsNOLA.com Prep Football presented by First NBC Bank. Back in 2. We're back at Hanville with the Tigers of Hanville leading the Lions of Covington at halftime 17-14. Want to update you on some more scores. And while we update, Wade, let's get your comments on some of these. Brother Martin, as we expected, at Zephyr Field tonight, rolling close to halftime, 21-0 over McKinley. No surprise there, right?
Destrehan 28-0 over
Terrebonne.
Terrebonne. That's your number one seed in 5A, rolling so far on the night.
Landry Walker 21, Fontainebleau 9. No real surprise there. Central over Live Oak in the third quarter, 7-0. A little closer than maybe you expected.
Close football game there. Central's having a fine year. I would think that they would have had a little bit more of a wider spread at this point in time.
How about Slidell giving St. Amant all they can handle? This is an early score. It's 9-7 at the end of the first, so we're a little bit behind on that score, but wow. St. Paul's rolling over Shaw, as we expected, 30-0. Ouachita and Walker in a battle. Walker leading Ouachita in the second quarter right before halftime. They're 13-12, our last update. Zachary rolling over Chalmette in the second quarter, late second quarter, 30-7. St. Augustine leading Byrd 13-3. St. Augustine lost those first couple of games of the season, went on a red-hot roll. I think they're one of the surprise teams and might be the sleeper in the playoffs. Plaquemine leading Breaux Bridge with under 2 minutes left in the half. Our last update, 17-0. University High 49, St. Michael's, the Archangel 3. That close to halftime. West Feliciana over Donaldsonville, 35-6 late in the second. Here's a final, an early game. Country Day over Holy Savior Menard from the Alexandria area, 33-7. Country Day, a big winner. We did a game with them earlier this year. Fine football team over there. Dunham and Newman. Dunham leading Newman with under 2 minutes to play, or with less than 2 minutes to play in the first half. 26-14. Dunham leading Newman there. Haynes and Ouachita Christian. Ouachita Christian with a 28-0 lead over Haynes at the half. And Southern Lab at halftime leads Catholic of Point Coupé 26-0.
I'll tell you what, a lot of things that we expected right there, but I tell you what, I like what Slidell's doing. They're really, hanging in there with Cinnamon. That could be the surprise upset of the evening.
Keep your eye on Al Jones and the St. Augustine Purple Knights. That is the surprise team and might be the team to beat. Here's another update for you at halftime. East St. John 12, Barb 10.
That is interesting. That's an interesting score right there.
I love the first round, or to be official, the by-district round of the playoffs, because you get these surprises, and that's what makes football, and especially high school football, so exciting as we get into late November, early December on the road to the Dome.
Well, the playoffs, because you can be one and done. It's the second season, and the kids know that. The coaches coach from that standpoint. The psychological, I guess you would say, I don't want to say head game, but you tell them all day, every day at practice during the week, guys. We've got to play well, or this could be the last one. What
do these coaches each tell their teams at halftime? I mean, here Hanville's the 8th seed. They only have a 3-point lead over an inspired Covington team. What does each coach tell his team?
Well, besides the various adjustments that they're going to make and trying to get more people to the ball in order to stop those running backs, one of the last things they told them as they walked out of the locker rooms just before they came on the field, they reminded them this is a one-and-done season, just like I'd been talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to see you being the guy crying when it's all over. Let's be the one celebrating. That's what they told them as they were walking out of those locker rooms.
Well said. Well said. Both teams are on the field, and we are set for second half action at Hanville. Nice crowd from Covington, and of course, as always, a jam-packed home side here at Hanville, where most of your high school teams, when you're playing at home, you're going to have a pretty jam-packed stadium.
Well, I know what brings them out here to Hanville, too, is that jambalaya. I tell you what, some of the best jambalaya in the River Parish is right here at Hanville High School.
Tell you what, you may have retired from coaching, but you try to take his bowl of jambalaya, and he'll pounce on that like an offensive lineman on a fumble.
Oh, I never got to eat it on game night. Now I can eat it if I want to. I mean, it's one of the perks of retirement.
Hanville had deferred to the second half, so here's a squib kick taken at the 19-yard line. And Hanville will return with Dylan Lewis, the defensive back, giving them a pretty good field position start of this second half. They'll have it at the 32-yard line, a 13-yard return. And we are set to go. So let's see if the adjustments made by each defense at halftime can stop either Anthony Pooka Williams and the Devin Brumfields of this world. We will see Pooka Williams and company. And Pooka is not the running back. They're going to, again, slot him out or split him out wide, and he'll take the toss on first down because he's dangerous in space, breaking a couple of tackles and spinning away almost from another with the pass reception and yards after the catch all the way down to the 46-yard line, a gain of 22.
Out there trying to tackle him on that slot one receiver screen out there was Austin Russell from Covington. Didn't even get a hand on him. Left him in his tracks, ran right past him.
Williams was on the left side. Now he's slotted to the right side, and they'll go to him on the inside slant. He's got it. Look at Anthony Williams go. Pooka Williams to the end zone. Touchdown. Didn't take long. Couple of plays, and that is a 46-yard touchdown catch and run by Anthony Pooka Williams. And Hanville has the lead 23-14. How's that for an offensive adjustment?
That's the place you're going to see him play in college. The place that he's going to be the most dangerous for a wide-open spread offense is when they take that type of speed and athleticism and put him at the second receiver or the slot receiver and run the run-pass options on slant routes and get the ball in his hands into open field on bubble routes and bubble screens. He is so dangerous and so explosive.
24-14 inside slant catch goes for 46 yards by Anthony Pooka Williams, and Hanville strikes quickly to open the second half of play and leads 24-14. We'll take a quick break. This is SportsNOLA.com Prep Football, presented by First NBC Bank. And here's the short kick, fumbled by Covington, but they jump on it and save it. My goodness, how dangerous is that? And I believe that's Darryl Miles. Yeah, Darryl Miles may have saved it along with Josh Brady.
Well, the ball's fumbling around down on the ground from the squib kick. You got to be able to field it first. First field the ball. They're kicking around, they're booting it around, it's fumbling off of people's hands. And while all that's going on, here comes the coverage team from Hanville just barreling down, almost falling in on picking up that ball and creating a huge turnover. But for Covington, luckily they were able to fall on it.
Covington's first offensive possession of the second half. Brumfield behind Alfaro. Gift to Brumfield and tries to break the tackle. Can't. Gets up to the 34-yard line, a gain of 3.
Brumfield running that inside zone right there, just barrels up inside, gets into the second level right there, picks up 3, maybe 4 yards right there the hard way. I see one adjustment right now that Hanville's made. Hanville's gone to their 3-man front and their 4 linebacker defense.
And here, no room for Brumfield again. Gets close to the line of scrimmage and is pushed back. So no gain on second down. That's going to bring up third down now and 7 for Covington on this first offensive possession. And look, when your opponent comes out and scores and now you're trailing by 10, you cannot afford to go 3 and out on your first offensive possession of the second half.
I've always said that probably the most important plays are the first ones that you're going to take within the first 2 minutes of the second half.
3 wide outs to the right, 1 to the left. No play action. They'll give to Brumfield all the way, pushing, and he is going to be short of the first down by just a little over a yard.
Hanville coming out and playing more man coverage right now, which is allowing them to be able to put more people in the box. 3 down defensive linemen and 4, as well as bringing down into the box a strong safety 5 linebackers, which is giving them an 8-man front.
4th and 1, and the punt team has not come out on the field yet. 4th and 1. Wow. 15 on the play clock. It looks like Greg Salter is going to go for it, or will he just try to draw Hanville offside? Let's see. They're going to go for it all the way. He's a keeper. He's back to the 40 and pushed back. Did not make it. He needed to get to the 41-yard line, was hit at the 40, driven back, and Covington will turn the ball over on downs. Had they handed off to Brumfield, he would have had the first. Logan Robert.
Logan Robert right there to make that stop in the backfield and slow down Alfaro to allow a lot of purple jerseys to come running downhill to that ball. Tell you what, how big is that? That could have set the tone now for the whole second half of this football game.
Brumfield on the play fake took it up the middle, and I thought had it by a half yard. But now it is first down, and they'll hand the ball to Devontae Clark, who runs up the middle and will get a short gain on this for Hanville, who's in the driver's seat on Covington's 37-yard line, second down, 7.
You know, when you talk Hanville, everybody talks Pooka Williams, but I tell you what I like to see tonight, and what I've seen tonight is Devontae Clark. This guy adds a nice second punch to the offense.
Clark's a senior. Good leader. Short little guy, but runs with power, 5'9". Anthony Williams hit at the 40, driven back. They're going to give him forward progress to the 39 and a gain of 1 before Zach Day, who started at linebacker tonight, got the tackle.
Zach Day pops through. Nobody touches him from that Hanville offensive line and hits Pooka Williams in the backfield. Pooka Williams couldn't get going. That's how you got to stop him. I'd like to see Covington to be able to adjust by being able to do some things up front with their defensive linemen, slanting them, twisting them, which will open up some gaps for those linebackers.
3rd down, 9. He lost a couple of yards on that last play, and look at Perrin trying to get loose, and he'll throw, and wow, incomplete. Austin Russell.
Austin Russell does a nice job getting his upfield hand in front of the ball, knocking the ball away for the incomplete pass right there.
So you take over on downs. You've got great field position, and Hanville not able to really take advantage of this, and will have to punt the ball away on 4th down and 9 after that 2-yard loss on, well, that big 2-yard loss on 2nd down. You got to credit the Covington defense for stepping up here. After turning over on downs, Greg Salter trusted his defense, and boy, that's got to make Grandpa Jack Salter pretty proud sitting on the other side there. Good punt. He was just trying to pooch it and just let it roll. It will take a little turn and go out of bounds at the 9-yard line.
Well, nobody back deep for Covington right there, thinking that there could be a fake.
Right. Nick Salter-Pomaggio. Well, he's got more tricks in the bag than anybody else. You've got to respect that.
So they kick the ball down inside the 15-yard line, and it kind of not as good as the one we saw closing out the second quarter.
Yeah, that was the 46-yard punt down at the 1 to make sure Covington would do nothing in the final 30 or 45 seconds.
Correct, but it's now going to back Covington up inside their 15-yard line.
Brumfield behind quarterback Joshua Alfaro. Give to Brumfield. There's the hole. Brumfield breaks the tackle. Another step inside of the 30, and he's all the way up to the 42-yard line. How about that? A gain of 33.
One of the adjustments that needed to be made right there in the locker room by Hanville was they got to get their secondary tackling this guy when he's running through it. Number 22 for Hanville right there, Hunter LeBlanc, again, sidesteps, doesn't want any part of Brumfield on the tackle.
Most people don't. Play action to Brumfield, who's used as a decoy. That's caught by Kejon Baptiste. He's been so quiet in this ball game. That's his, I believe, first reception. Check that. Yeah, it is his first reception of the game, coming here with 7:18 to play in the third quarter, but he makes it a good one, gaining 7 on the play.
They've got man coverage out there. They throw the play-action pass, fake Brumfield into the line, and kick the ball out there to Kejon Baptiste for a nice pickup. Brings them to a 2nd and medium.
Second, just a little bit more than 6. Call it about 6.5 on this one. Or rather 4.5. He gained about 6. Oh, look at this. You've got a keeper by your quarterback. Alfaro breaks a tackle. Just bounces off a tackler and gets extra yards. He had the first down by a lot. He's to the 34-yard line, an 18-yard gain by Alfaro. And Covington's playing with a sense of purpose offensively.
Alfaro does a nice job right there reading the zone read. They read the last person on the line of scrimmage to see if he's going to fall down inside to tackle Brumfield, which he did. And he rips the ball out, takes it over his right end, and picks up big yardage. And Covington is on the move.
Trailing by 10, they have to be. 24-14, they trail. 6:19 to play third quarter. Alfaro with plenty of time. It's flushed out of the pocket and goes down as he crosses the 35 to the 34. Cameron Cabral.
No place to go. Cameron Cabral works upfield, spins back down off of a spin move, and tackles Alfaro. Alfaro had no place to go with the ball. Brings up the sack.
Got back to the line of scrimmage. Good effort. Second down, 10 at the 34-yard line. Alfaro is just such a tall quarterback and runs so well for his size. Give to Brumfield. Look at him break tackles up the middle. He's to the 25-yard line and just barrels through for a 9-yard gain.
Brumfield running that inside zone again, just hits the hole so hard. All of a sudden, he's in your linebacker's face, and if you're not ready to make that tackle, he's running right past you, and it's a safety hopefully stepping up to make the tackle.
Brumfield just went over 100 yards, 20 carries, 106 yards, and we're in the third quarter with 5:18 to play. Third down, 1 yard to go, 4-down territory. Stacked eye. Play action. Alfaro on the keeper. This time he'll get the first down and more. Pulled down from behind by Elgin Collins. That's the play they tried to get the first down with earlier and turned it over on downs. This time Alfaro found the seam and he got out there and picked up the first down.
Well, it's a naked bootleg. They fake the ISO play to the left, and Alfaro keeps the ball, boots around to his right, naked bootleg. Nobody sets the edge for Hanville, thus he does a nice job picking up the first down.
10-yard gain and whistles blow. That was a fake. Alfaro was going to keep it, neither run or drop back and pass, but flag on the play at the line of scrimmage.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they wouldn't have had the flag on the play at the line of scrimmage, that would have been 6 points off the isolation pass because Alfaro had the ball hidden very nicely in his stomach, and they had a tight end wide open 5 yards from the end zone. All he had to do was throw the ball or shot put the ball up in the air. It had been touchdown because there was nobody in a purple jersey anywhere around the receiver. So it's going to back them up now. It's going to make it 1st and 15.
Alfaro with the snap. He'll give to Brumfield. Brumfield hit. Nowhere to go. Got to the 20-yard line and was pushed back by a bunch. Travis Chambers and others there to make the stop.
Travis Chambers comes off the block and meets Brumfield dead smack in the backfield. Brumfield had nowhere to go. Couldn't make a move. Just got wrapped up real quick and brings up a 2nd and long. It was a nice tackle for a loss by Travis Chambers.
Had some help from Devin Williams on that. 2nd down. It's about 14. Alfaro from the gun, play action to Brumfield. He's looking over the middle and throws a sliding attempt, incomplete. Couldn't catch up to it.
Not a very good decision by Joshua Alfaro right there. He tries to fit the ball in. There's nobody open.
Yeah.
You need to take that, throw it over the receiver's head, come back and play 3rd down. That almost got picked right there at the goal line.
Yeah, 3rd down, 14. He's got to make some. Again, these are not throwing quarterbacks. Now, they have the ability to throw well, But when you've got running backs like Brumfield and Pooka Williams on both sides, you just don't throw the ball that much. These quarterbacks are throwing more tonight than they usually throw in a football game. 3rd down, 14. This is a big one. 4-down territory probably. Alfaro's going to toss up a lob ball for the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Kajan Batiste. Boy, he got that up high, didn't he?
Threw it up high, just throwing it out there at the pylon. Great coverage out there by the Hanville defender. Number 26, Khalil Mason, was all over him on the go route or the fade route right there. No place for him to go. But it's going to bring up a 4th down, possibly a field goal situation.
Bringing the field goal unit in. Now, watching Devin Jenkins kick in pregame, he was kicking them from the 30-yard line, and they were booming through the goalpost the other way. There's no wind, so it doesn't matter which way he kicks.
He's had the longest on the year is 46 yards.
Put down at the 28. This is a 38-yarder, and it is good. 38-yard field goal makes this a 7-point, 1-touchdown game. 24-17, Hanville with the lead, and that is a big play right there for the Covington Lions.
Great kick. The snap, hold was down, kick quickly out. Nice field goal for Covington right there. Puts them within 7. But you count back about 4 plays from that. They have a illegal procedure penalty, which probably took a touchdown because there was nobody on the tight end near the goal line off the play action pass if he would have had a chance to throw the ball. But they blow the whistle dead, and it was all for naught.
3:35 to play here in the 3rd quarter. 24-17. Hanville's lead cut to 7. Again, Hanville is the 8th seed, Covington the 25th seed. And these Lions have played inspired, but so have the Hanville Tigers. Whenever the Lions have gotten close or taken their only lead of the game, Hanville has flexed its muscle, and look out when they do. Squib kick, bobbled, and jumped on and safely recovered by the Hanville Tigers' Jamal Bird. So now the Tigers have it, and guess what? We're going to see Austin Perrin, the lefty quarterback, either throwing or handing off to Pooka Williams. They like to throw to him in space because, like you said, that's going to be his position in college because he's so dangerous there.
Well, it gives him the opportunity out there as the slot receiver to be able to get separation by bubbling back, running a route, and trying to get himself in a zone coverage situation, puts him in holes, or against man where he just completely puts a move on the man coverage and gets himself open that way. There's so many options when he's out there. He becomes so much more dangerous.
I want to remind you that tomorrow night we'll have another Division I first-round game. Jesuit and Archbishop Rummel from Joe Yenni Stadium. Our coverage begins at 5:45. Ken Trahan and Rick Galey, Coach Rick Galey, going to be calling that one on radio and on SportsNOLA.com. That's going to be a good one. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along here at the 35-yard line. Run up the middle, get a little bit, and we will be looking at 2nd down. That's Devontae Clark.
Devontae Clark right there again. I think he adds an excellent, as I've said, a second punch to this Hanville offense. It's kind of like the little yin and yang right there. You got Devontae Clark, you got Pooka Williams, and you don't know what you're going to get. They're both dangerous.
They're keeping Pooka in space and putting Clark there. Here's a toss. Jaquan Jackson on the catch, and he's got the first down across the 45 to the 47-yard line.
That's strictly run-pass option right there. They gave Austin Perrin the opportunity to read the box, saw that it was loaded with a lot of white jerseys to stop the running game. What does he do? He picks the ball out off the play action and tosses it out there to the number 2 receiver wide open for a nice pickup.
Here comes Cade McGez off the sideline with a play. He's a big fullback. Senior fullback. He's had a few carries when they need usually short yardage. Fake to Devontae Clark, and Perrin in trouble, and he's brought down, sacked way back there, and Anthony Ford busting through to make the play.
Well, I mean, it's They're throwing a little play-action pass right there. I think they need to get back on task here and start getting them running backs running again, especially number 7, Pooka Williams. Let's get him the ball.
Yeah, Hanville looks out of sync on this series. Hanville looks totally out of sync, Wade.
Let's look like, let's try something new here. Let's do what works.
2nd and forever. Throw to Devontae Clark. Clark to the 50-yard line, got all the lost yardage back and a few more to boot. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 right at midfield.
I like that. They're getting Devontae Clark back in the mix, like I said they needed to do, but they did it by dropping a screen to him, which we've seen earlier in the game, which has been successful. That's getting back on task. Let's get it in number 2's hands. Let's get it in number 7's hands. Get these guys rolling so that way we can get back on task and on schedule.
At midfield, 3rd down, 7. Ooh, dropped ball. That was an incomplete pass. Incomplete pass, not a fumble.
Trying to set up a screen again to the opposite direction. Just hit. I think that was Devontae Clark. His jersey's kind of pulled up. Yes, that was Devontae Clark. Hit him right in the hands. I think Devontae wanted to run before he caught the ball and kind of batted it down like a volleyball. It's going to put Hanville in a punting situation again at midfield. This time, Covington will put somebody back to return the punt.
Well, 4th and 7 with a 7-point lead. You don't expect Salta Formaggio to try to pull a trick play here. You want to protect that lead and back Covington up. Comes the rush. He gets the punt off. Nobody is going to be close to fielding that one before it takes a left-hand turn and goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line. A 30-yard punt. With 1:05 to play in the 3rd quarter, Covington trailing by a touchdown, 24-17, will have the ball at their 20-yard line. And don't leave your computer screen or your phone because this one is still got some exciting plays and time left. Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, Nat and Jason Collins, your crew. At the 20-yard line. Alfaro and Brumfield in the backfield. Fake to Brumfield. Alfaro on the keeper. Look at the quarterback run around the left side. And he's up to the 33-yard line. That's a gain of 13 and a 1st down on 1st down.
I like how they're getting him involved in the running game. Joshua Alfaro, that is. They're running more of the zone read option. He's an outstanding athlete. I think he's the X factor for Covington. Get him involved in the running game. Let him be your 2nd running back because everybody's converging on number 6, Brumfield. Let's get your quarterback running off the edge on things like zone reads.
And Alfaro again on the fake to Brumfield. He will keep and get back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
That time it's defended well by Hanville. What they don't do is collapse in on Brumfield, which they should have given the ball to Brumfield right there because that's why it's a read. You're reading the last guy on the line of scrimmage. If he collapses in on Brumfield, you pull the ball. If he doesn't, you give the ball. I just think Alfaro missed that read right there. So it was defended well by Hanville, but not a very good read by Alfaro.
Well, I'm trying to see who the injured lineman is for the Covington Lions who's injured. That's going to stop the clock with 26 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Hanville, who has had to punt their last 2 possessions away, has given it back to Covington. That's Luke Appy, the center. He's started at center tonight. A little earlier, he's walking off okay. He's walking off on his own. Limping a little, but...
Little ginger on that right leg.
So now you'll have a backup center come into the game, and let's see if they try to blitz or something or stack right over him.
Well, that's kind of scary if they haven't taken any snaps prior to coming in. You just don't know what can happen with that snap. They're going to be in a pistol formation, so it'll be a shotgun snap for their backup center.
Cole Parr, backup center, started at center last time we were here when these two played. They're going to take a shot downfield, and it's just off the fingertips. Just an overthrow on the intended receiver down there who was well covered but had about a half step, and I believe that was Keyshawn Batiste.
I like the call.
Yeah.
Take a shot. I like a call. Take the shot. Let's try to loosen that front up of Hanville a little bit. Everybody's keying on Brumfield. Now they're keying on the read option with Alfaro. Let's take the ball off of play action, and let's chunk it down the field a little bit to try to loosen some things up.
That was early cut. Alonji early cut. They gave the senior a shot. First time they've thrown to him in this ball game on a deep route. So now it's 3rd down 10. Good protection. There's the toss. Overthrows the intended receiver, Milton Clark.
Just overthrows him. I don't think the ball was very well placed right there. It had a wide open receiver, and the ball was placed off the mark by Alfaro.
And that play will bring the 3rd quarter to a close. We have played 3 here in Hanville, where the Hanville Tigers lead the Covington Lions by a touchdown, 24-17. 1 quarter of play remains. When we come back, we'll take a break. This is SportsNOLA.com Prep Football presented by First NBC Bank. Back right after this. Back at Hanville, Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, along with Nat and Jason Collins, your crew. Our statistician David Faust just has gone down to the sideline, and the Covington Lions will squib punt it, and Pooka Williams picks it up. Look out, you might see some Pooka Williams magic. Look at Pooka Williams break tackles. Pooka Williams trying to get free of another. And look at him move a rugby scrum past the 45 to the 46. That brings the Hanville crowd to its feet and fires up the crowd and the Hanville football team.
Wow, is he exciting. I tell you what, they had a couple great blocks there also, but I tell you what, he puts moves on people, and then he just refuses to go down. People hanging on his legs, and he's pulling them along like a train, and then people are coming up to tackle him. He just will not go down. He is one exciting football player.
Well, look, you use a rugby punt, you squib it down there thinking surely, and you wait the extra second, surely our coverage is going to get down there. We're in good shape. No, he goes and picks it up, and Anthony Williams gets the handoff. Nowhere to go on 1st down. He maybe gets a half yard.
They run counter right there. They pull the backside guard to kick out the Covington defensive end on their the Hanville offensive right. Nowhere to go. Nice job by those Covington linebackers stepping up right there. Ralph Crandall, Zach Day doing a nice job stepping up, giving no place to go for Pooka Williams.
Brandon Johnson up on the top of your screen, but they're going to just keep it on the ground, and Anthony Williams across midfield to the 48-yard line of the Covington Lions, a gain of 6.
Just when it looks like you have him bottled up, all of a sudden he's going to burst through there and pick up 6 yards. That's how much explosion he has. I've been saying it all night. One move, vertical. You know, he's not 1, 2, 3 moves in vertical like you see out of some high school running backs. What you see out of this guy is one move, vertical, acceleration, and he's running past people.
All right, Devontae Clark in. Pooka Williams came out to make an adjustment, I think, to his shoulder pads. They give the Devontae Clark, hit hard as he goes over the left side and stopped short of the 1st down. And that'll bring up 4th down now for Hanville. So that was 3rd and about 7. He picked up 2. So that'll bring up 4th down and 3. And Hanville will have to punt the ball away for the 3rd consecutive time in this game, if truly they do punt, with just under 10 minutes to play in the game and a 24-17 one-touchdown lead.
Hanville having trouble right now trying to establish drives. You know, they're 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out in the past 3 times.
Look at the rush.
The ball.
Melanson. I don't know if they got a little piece of it because one of the Hanville rushers ran into, but I think he got a little piece of it.
I think
because it was it looked like a deflected punt.
He was blocked into the punter, which caused the punter to, I think, shank the ball off his foot. If he got any hand on it, it was very slight touch.
Wow.
Covington's going to take the ball over in good field position. They now have to mount some sort of drive with 9:35 left in the ball game.
At their own 30-yard line. Covington running out of time. Handoff, Brumfield straight ahead. Bumping helmets across the 35 up to the 36-yard line. Gain of 6.
He's a workhorse. He's going to carry that load. He picks up 6 yards right there carrying people. Hanville's got 9 people in the box. They're playing man-to-man coverage on the flank. They're going to allow to put everybody they can up in that box to stop number 6.
Second down, 4. Oh, he dropped the ball. Alfaro jumps on it and saves what could have been a disaster at the 36-yard line.
Running the zone read option, what happened right there is he didn't really complete the good mesh with the running back. Kind of had the ball low, hits Brumfield on the thigh pad, and that's how the ball gets knocked out and put on the ground. You got to get the ball up into the mesh.
Third down, 4 at the 36. Alfaro on a keeper. He's got the first down. Look at the big quarterback run. He's across midfield. Alfaro with a nice cut to the inside, and he is down inside the 40-yard line to the 38-yard line. What a run and move by Joshua Alfaro for 26 yards to move the chains, keep the drive alive, and keep Covington's hopes alive with 8:26 to play.
Ken, that was play-action pass. Hanville didn't bite on the play-action to Brumfield. What does he do? Alfaro reverses his field, heads off to the right-hand side of the offense, runs far enough to pick the first down. He's the X factor for the Covington offense.
You said that because they're keying on number 6, who just carried to the 35-yard line for a gain of 3.
You know, what's working for Covington? Zone reads, play-action passes, and Brumfield running right at you. Those are the 3 things that they've got to do in the next 7:57, 7:56 in order to get themselves into a tied ball game and give them a chance to win it.
Alfaro, play action, being chased, in trouble, escapes. Look at Alfaro on the run. He's got the first down. He could have been sacked, and he's down to the 19-yard line. It looked like he was going to be dead to naught. And wow.
Trevon Honor is the guy that puts the pressure on him in the backfield on a blitz. Has him wrapped up, and the big, strong Alfaro, as we said, he's a big guy, 6'3", 215, spins right out of his arms, takes off down the right side of the boundary, and now has the Covington offense rolling down into Hanville territory.
15-yard gain on what looked like it was going to be about a 5-yard sack of the quarterback. And look out. Covington is threatening. They're at the edge of the red zone. Right up the middle. They'll try a run on first down, 10. Nothing going.
As they've done all night, Covington brings in their heavy offense. Seems like that's what they want to do inside the 20-yard line. 2 tight ends, 3 backs, 2 blocking backs in front of Brumfield, and they're going to hammer right at you.
Gain of, let's call it about 2.5. So about 8 to go for the first down. Look out. Here goes Brumfield. Touchdown. Flag down. So hold on. Let's see if the touchdown stands. It's an 18-yard touchdown called back for holding. Wow. What a turn of events. An 18-yard TD by Brumfield called back for holding.
Well, you know,
we haven't had many penalties in this game outside of a little procedure here, procedure there. That's the first big one.
Well, you know, the thing about the holding penalty right there, it was thrown by the white hat behind the play. So from the coaching standpoint right there, I'm a little irritated because that's the first one you throw inside the 20 after I break a touchdown run like that. So we haven't done that all night long. That should be the umpire's call if the umpire's doing his job. The white hat throws it from behind the offense.
Now at the 25-yard line, Alfaro keeps. Alfaro is sacked. Wow, look out. that one by Rashad Domino.
Brought him off the corner. That's a corner blitz against the power-looking offense of Covington. Nobody touches him. They try to throw the play-action pass off the ISO with the full house backfield, trying to hit the tight end behind the secondary. Nobody picks up the blitzing corner. Number 10, Rashad Domino.
8-yard sack, and Covington's moving the wrong way. A penalty and a sack just cost them a bunch of yards, and now it is 3rd down and 22. Another flag thrown. This is going to be against Hanville.
Hanville lines up inside the neutral zone, so they stop the play immediately because the neutral zone is violated in Federation rules. That's what takes place. They're going to stop the ball, stop the play immediately, and mark off 5 yards from the spot.
6:05 to play in the game. Hanville holding on by the hair of their chinny chin chin to a 7-point 24-17 lead. But Covington was all the way to the 20-yard line. Got inside the 20 on a short run, and then all of a sudden the 18-yard TD run called back. Here's Alfaro, lots of time. He's going long into the end zone. It's a jump ball, and it is intercepted.
Big interception right there. That's picked off by number
Milton Clark, 22, 12. I believe.
No, I think it might have been Milton Clark.
No, wait, I'm sorry. That is picked off by Hunter LeBlanc.
Hunter LeBlanc right
Hunter
there.
LeBlanc with the pick.
Big job right there. Great pick. Ball's thrown deep into the end zone. He's in perfect position to jump up at its highest point and catch that ball at highest point. How big was that call on that called back touchdown, the holding penalty? That will come back to haunt Covington.
Wow. It may cost them this season with 5:42 unless they can pull off a miracle of their own. That is a Hunter LeBlanc interception. How big is that? Now you just give it to Anthony Williams and let him do his thing. His thing gets 2 yards on a first down run. But right now, his thing is to run clock. 1 touchdown lead. Anthony Ford with the stop. Under 5.5. 5:26, 5:25 to go. Each team has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Their full complement of timeouts. Devontae Clark into the game. Austin Perrin, the senior quarterback. That interception, throw a lot of jump balls. And that interception was a jump ball pick. Devontae Clark bounces off one tackler, not the second, brought down by Devin Brumfield, who's playing, by the way, at a linebacker spot, playing both ways tonight. We haven't talked about that.
Well, he's been off and on defense all night long, Ken. He hasn't been on many plays. Right there he was, but he's a fine athlete, so why not put him on defense to try to help your defense out? And he does a nice job right there making a tackle on Austin Perrin.
Watch him. Of course, that is Devin Brumfield, the running back. He'll be playing at the middle linebacker or one of the linebacker spots. Here's your 3rd down play. Perrin on the roll. Perrin, the lefty, throws, and he's got a man for the first down. Guess who, Anthony? Pooka Williams makes the catch, and that'll move the chains and keep this drive alive with 4:13 to play in the game. Clock stopped while the chains move.
Bootleg to Hanville's left. They pull the backside guard. Number 60, Michael Kindler, gets out there and leads interference for Austin Perrin to get onto the edge. Wide open, 15 yards downfield was Pooka Williams. Perrin puts it right on the money for the big first down to keep the chains moving.
That play, along with the interception on the big jump ball toss to the end zone, that play right there might have been the death knell call unless this Covington defense can really pull off a miracle. Run up the middle. Nothing doing. Covington closes that door after a short gain. That's Devontae Clark, stopped by Zach Day, who got a start at linebacker tonight.
Zach Day does a nice job stepping right up there to shut down Devontae Clark. Zach Day has also played this year in the secondary for Covington, but tonight they've moved him down into the box as another linebacker to try to be able to stop that running game of Hanville.
Well, it looks like the Tigers are having a little trouble getting this play in. Nick Saltaformaggio out there, Is he going to call timeout or let it go?
He's going to run it all the way down, call timeout,
right,
which he does at the 25-second clock expires.
Used every second of the play clock. Knew that there was a little miscommunication on getting that play in, but rather than call timeout immediately, made sure his hand was up so that the team would not snap the football, and then took the opportunity to let every second, and with 1 second left on the play clock, he calls timeout, using his first, leaving Hanville with 2, but they have that 24-17 lead, 3:28 to play in the game.
Well, one of the things you don't want to do when you're in a 4-minute offense is call timeout unless there's a real emergency. You're trying to get the other team to call timeout so that way they can get the ball back and hopefully score. Well,
here's the thing, though, too, Wade.
Golden rules.
Yeah, 2nd down and 9. You want to make sure you get something positive out of this to do, as you say. You want 3rd and manageable, 3rd and short if you don't make the first down, because you want to keep that clock moving. This line defense has met the challenge a number of times, and they have forced this Hanville team into a number of punts. It's the defense that saved the day with the pick. Oh, look at Pooka Williams on the fancy move. Now the chains will move, and he is all the way down to the 39-yard line. My goodness, Pooka Williams, it's so much fun to watch him reel off runs like he just did of 21 yards there.
Takes that 45-degree cut. That is buck sweep. They pull both guards. They kick out the force with the play side guard, wrap the backside guard up inside. Pooka Williams following the backside guard, takes a 45-degree cut, plants his foot in the ground, and just heads north and south. And all of a sudden, with his burst, he's running around in the secondary. Covington's going to have to start thinking about using their timeouts to conserve some clock.
Perrin hands off to Williams, who slips, keeps his balance, and still gets to the 35-yard line. Do we have a flag now?
I think I saw a flag come down from the white hat behind the play.
Let's see. 2 minutes and 46 seconds. There was one, yes. And this is going to move Hanville back.
Again, the white hat throws the holding call from behind the line of scrimmage.
That bothers you, I know.
Yeah, that bothers me. Yes, it does. I'm just.
You're a coach.
I'm not going to lie. The guy that needs to be seeing that holding penalty first is that umpire. Unless it's so blatant that the white hat, it's in his vision with everything else that he's got to see from his spectrum of managing his referee position, it kind of bothers me.
Want to remind everybody that tomorrow night's 6 p.m. kickoff broadcast begins at 5:45 as the Division I first round Jesuit and Archbishop Rummel from Yenni Stadium. Kenny Trahan and Rick Gailey bringing you that game. So a lot more on SportsNOLA. Stay with us here at SportsNOLA for all the good playoff coverage. You were saying?
Yeah, another rematch of a great Catholic League rivalry tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Pass out to Williams. Again, he spins away from a tackle very close to a face mask, and he gets some of that penalty yardage back. But clock is running. 2:13 it stops, actually, right there. Timeout called by Covington.
Covington decides to try to conserve some of that clock. They call their timeout, the first one of the second half. They throw a quick hitch out to Pooka Williams right there, and he picks up about 8 to 10 yards and gets them down into now 2nd and long. They were first and a millennium. Now they're 2nd and long. But that's what Pooka Williams can do for you. You get the ball out into his hands, and he makes the corner miss. He makes a linebacker miss. He's finally brought down by people coming from inside out, and it took a bunch of them to get him down.
That's why he, as a freshman, had an offer from Mississippi State. A freshman. He's got so many offers now, he can shuffle them like a deck of cards and just go 52 pickup. Which one do I like today?
If I'm a team that does a lot of spread formations, a lot of open offense,
He's the guy you want.
He's the guy I would be going after and getting him out there in a slot position where he is now, that number 2 receiver who's bringing across in motion.
2nd and 14 from the 43. Delayed handoff to Boutte. Clark, nobody sees it. Clark's got the first down. Clark's got more. Clark with a move inside is inside the 10. Clark with another move. Clark to the end zone. He fumbled it into the end zone. And we've got a touchback. Covington got it there. He went down in a pile, fumbled the ball into the end zone. And Covington recovers in the end zone. My goodness, with 2:07 remaining, the Lions have new life. Can you believe it, on this long run, which started back at the 30? I'm not sure what the line of scrimmage was on that last one now. But that was close to a It's close to a 29-yard run, and he lost. Devin had everybody fooled, Wade. Nobody saw it.
Well, they brought Pooka Williams across in jet motion again. We saw that earlier tonight, and they give it to Devontae Williams on the counter back against the motion. Everybody's chasing after Pooka Williams, and there goes Devontae Williams down the other side of the field. Then he fumbles the ball in the end zone. He gives Covington life, starting the ball at their own 20-yard line with 2:07 and 2 timeouts.
Alfaro, he'll throw on first down. Incomplete. And they just can't afford to miss any passes intended for Mason Cialona.
Mason Cialona wide open, and I'm going to tell you what.
Wow.
Ken, you could have hit that.
Yeah, these are not passing teams. Each team, by the way, has turned it over twice. Covington. Wow. Alfaro, lots of time. He's going long, and it's incomplete. Intended for Kajan Batiste, who was well covered. Got a hand on it, couldn't pull it down.
It's great coverage right there by Rashad Domino right there on top of the play. Man for man. Nicely thrown ball by Alfaro. Great defensive play by Rashad Domino.
1:56 to play. It's 3rd down 10. Now, naturally, it goes without saying this is 4-down territory, but most importantly, you got to move the chains also to keep this drive alive. Need 10 to do that from the 20. Alfaro, he's going to run. Good cut inside, and he's spun down very close. The spot's going to be just short of the 30-yard line. Clock still running, 1:43, 1:42. And timeout called by Covington, stopping the clock with 1:41.
He gets flushed out of the pocket, steps up into the pocket, no place to go. Great coverage by Hanville right there, and Alfaro takes off running and gets real close to this first down.
All right, so this is what we're looking at. 4th down, 1, maybe just a little bit less. 1:41 to go. If Covington does not make the first down, this ball game is over, and Hanville escapes with a 24-17 win over a team that played much better than a 25th seed, with the talent and experience and the stuff we've seen from Devin Brumfield. And, wow, just a couple of interceptions really hurt Alfaro. So here we go, folks. It's 4th down. Are they going to give it to Brumfield? Stacked eye, fumbled. Alfaro stopped. He did not make it. He fumbled the football. He fumbled the snap, picked it up, tried to push forward, couldn't do it, and that's going to be it. Covington turns it over on downs with 1:36 to play, and Hanville has sealed this win because the Lions have only one timeout remaining to stop the clock.
Alfaro fumbles the snap is what happens. He doesn't get it cleanly, bobbles the ball, it goes down on the ground, and Hanville recovers deep in Covington territory. They can stop the clock. Covington stopped the clock one time. And then all Hanville will have to do is kneel it out from there.
Wow. They had the stacked eye. Brumfield dotted it. He's so hard to stop. Here's Anthony Williams with a turn to the inside. He'll be gang tackled as he just pushes the pile forward. They don't even need the first down. Here's the final timeout being called by Covington, stopping the clock with 1:27. But they need a ball strip, and they're probably going to get the victory formation twice, I would think. I wouldn't snap the ball and try to run it and have that ball stripped out of my hand. I'd let it go to the very end, have my punter run around and put this game away.
Well, they should be able to kneel it down 2 times.
Yeah.
And it should be over.
2 times would leave them with about 37 seconds to play with, if I did my math right.
Hanville might go ahead and just run the ball one time and then kneel it.
Yeah. Wow. There's still a glimmer of hope, but it would take a miracle for the Covington Lions. Hanville should be able to put this one away, but it wasn't easy. Austin Perrin to Williams. Oh, look at this. Look at Williams. Williams to the end zone. Touchdown. That's the icing on the cake right there. Williams, my goodness.
Hanville goes ahead and runs the ball one time. What does he do? He pops it through, and nobody in a white jersey and is anywhere to be found around Pooka Williams as he scores again for Hanville, and it is all over. Hanville will move on to play the winner of John Ehret and Houghton. Depending on who wins that game, Hanville could be at home, or Hanville could possibly be on the road if Houghton won, or is winning, or wins.
Dalton Melanson with the point after, 31-17. Hanville just put the icing on the cake, and that's disappointing for Covington. I think the disappointing thing, if you're a Lions fan, is you would like to know if you, without the fumble, could you have picked up the first down and made a game of it? We'll never know. The snap was fumbled, and Alfaro picked it up, tried to push forward, but man, the line was stacked, Wade.
It goes all the way back to the holding penalty on the touchdown called back. That's the play. That is the dagger on Covington's season right there.
That's right.
Thrown by an official behind the play.
An 18-yard touchdown run by Brumfield, called back for holding, called by the referee. And then a few plays later, interception on a pass into the end zone, and that was it. So Hanville will move on.
They will have the winner, as I said, of John Ehret or Houghton. If it is John Ehret will be driving down here to Boutte, Louisiana to play the Tigers. If it is Houghton, the Tigers will be on the road to the Shreveport area to play Houghton, who I believe is the 24th seed.
Squib kick picked up. Milton Clark with a short return. 1:14 to play, and it's just a matter of watching the clock run out. I'm going to credit, though, Greg Salter and the Covington Lions. They came in with a good game plan. They played an excellent football game, and they gave Hanville, for most of this game, except for this final minute 30 or so, everything they could handle. And again, they were a holding penalty away from making this a possible overtime thriller.
Well, the thing I like what Greg Salter did with his team is in the second half, they came out, they played extremely hard, but they found the zone read option, which I'm sure is in their playbook. They decided to run a lot more and get Joshua Alfaro involved in the running game, which they did. It just wasn't enough in the second half.
Alfaro with the toss. This time he completes it, but this is all too little too late. 1:04. Clock stops while the chains move.
I think that was a Longuet early cut on that catch.
He's a senior. Give him a few catches here before he graduates off.
Well, the thing that was nice is actually Alfaro hit his target. I mean, he's had targets wide open all night, and he's either been too high, too right, too left, that sort of thing. That isn't his game. His game is running the zone read option and managing the offense. The ball's being marked back. It looks like they had a penalty on that play, so they're going to bring it back from wherever the penalty was, and they're going to bring it back and replay first down.
Yeah, you realize that penalty that was called back would have tied the game at 24. And that really was it right there. Alfaro on the scramble, Alfaro on the long throw, and this one's tipped up. Incomplete. 50 seconds to play.
Well, yeah, I told you how important that play was.
Yes, you
did.
And
I'm telling you right now, Greg Salter tonight will take a look at that film, number one, to see if there was a holding penalty.
Yep.
And then number two, he's going to probably place a call tomorrow to the Thibodaux Association to kind of complain a little bit about how the holding penalty was thrown. you hate to go to bed at nighttime after losing a game that you could have tied it up right there, have it come down to a holding penalty in a crucial spot.
Alfaro throws to Kajan Batiste. Batiste on the run. Batiste, another one of those really super juniors in that super junior class. 39 seconds as they move the chains. The clock will stop. Again, these were the Thibodaux Association officials. The referee who threw that flag, by the way, is David Miller.
You see, I can stand up here and I can talk about him now. before I could, I'd get fined.
Alfaro with a long throw, and that one intended down there for Mason Cialona, and he's caught it. He got it. Cialona with a nice catch down to the 20-yard line with 25 seconds to play.
By the way, which I have been fined before for talking about officials. But right now I can kind of enjoy this. I mean, I'm going to tell you like it is. If I'm Greg Salter, I'd have been mighty upset over that holding penalty. 25
seconds to play. Spike of the football with 20 seconds to play. As I told you before, there's still a glimmer of hope, a glimmer, a little bitty spark at the bottom of the fire pile.
They're going to have to get the ball in the end zone. They're going to have to recover an onside kick and throw it deep again.
And throw another jump ball Hail Mary, right, which those haven't worked well for him. But you know what? All of a sudden, Alfaro is completing passes.
Well, he's got wide open guys. Hanville playing a lot of soft coverage, and these receivers wide open underneath the coverage. Now you can see Hanville has gone to a little man down inside the 30-yard line, so they've changed their coverage a little bit.
Here's the lob ball into the corner of the end zone for Batiste, and he can't get it. Kajan Batiste, well covered, by the way.
Yeah, well covered. I think that was Khalil Mason right there on that coverage. Did a nice job just knocking it down, not trying to tip the ball up to where it could become a tip drill, not trying to intercept the ball where it would come off your hands if you make a mistake. Let's just knock the ball down and play the next down, which will go.
15 seconds. Yeah, 15 seconds, third down, 10. And again, you still got to, if you were to score, you'd have to recover an onside kick and throw a quick Hail Mary. So here's one. Brumfield, can he get to the end zone? He breaks one tackle, cuts to the inside, can't break the other. Gang tackled at the 10s, taking a lot of time. 4, 3, 2. They can't spike it. 1. The time has run out. And even though a valiant effort for that last bit of hope by the Covington Lions, the clock runs out, and this game is over. Hanville, a winner by the score of 31-17. They will move on to the second round. They will move on to the regional round of the playoffs, which is the second round. And for Covington, their season will end with a 5-6 record, 4-5. Wait a minute, they're saying that they're getting one more play. Was there a penalty there?
I think there was a defensive penalty, so they can't stop the game on a defensive penalty. They're going to get one more play. They'll throw it into the end zone.
They'll throw it into the end zone where it's picked off. I did not see a flag, and neither did you. So anyway, defensive penalty picked off.
Well,
wait a minute. Now do we have another one? Another penalty?
It was on Covington, and this one will be declined.
That's it. It was on the offense. Can't end on a defensive penalty. Can end on an offensive penalty. Declined penalty on the Covington Lions. This game is over. 31-17. Hanville, as we said, moves on to the regional round, which is round 2 of the playoffs. The Hanville Tigers do. Covington ends their season 5-6 overall. And the Hanville Tigers, who are on a hot streak, are now 9-2, and they have now won 7 in a row. The Hanville Tigers won the first 2 games of the year, lost 2, and now with this victory have reeled off 7 in a row. They are 9-2, moving on to the regional round.
Well, they did this last year. They hit that streak right after the Destrehan game, and they start rolling. And that's what carries the momentum into the playoffs is when you are rolling, you're on a streak, and that speaks towards what's going on with Hanville right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, your comments on this game, Wade, as you look at the two teams shake hands, and not only on, let's talk about 2 things. Hanville, even though Covington played a great game, and I want to credit Greg Salter and his team for a great game, but Hanville, when threatened, flexed the muscle that they had to flex as the 8th seed, strong team, and did what they had to do to win.
Well, Covington, a few errors, put the ball on the ground. They had some mesh issues between the quarterback and Brumfield, and those fumbles took them out of some situations. I thought they stepped up defensively in the second half, and they really 3-and-outed Hanville a few times in the second half, right there at midfield forcing punts. But Covington just couldn't get things going enough off of those 3-and-outs by their defense. Came down to a holding penalty where they could have tied the score and maybe made this thing a little bit different. But my thoughts on this tonight is we saw two outstanding running backs, Pooka Williams and
Devin Brumfield.
Yeah, and who broke the rushing record for Covington tonight. And those guys are going to go on to do great things. Pooka Williams for the rest of the playoffs, but also Brumfield going into his senior year next year. It's one and done for Covington, and Hanville has life. And as we said, they're moving on to either play John Ehret or Houghton.
We don't have an update for you. Covington playing their alma mater, which is to the tune of far above Cayuga's waters. And Hanville's, I'm sure, will come next.
You know them all.
I've heard a lot. It's only because I've done a lot of games and I've heard a lot of fight songs and a lot of alma maters in my day.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's impressive, Ken. That's impressive.
But wait, you know what? Here comes another one. The Hanville alma mater is also to the tune of far above Cayuga's waters. But as each team plays their alma mater, it gives us a chance again just to remind you that even though this game is over, we have more tomorrow night. So remember, a Division I first-round game, Jesuit and Archbishop Rummel from Joe Yenni Stadium. Our coverage begins at 5:45. Kickoff is at 6. So Friday night at 5, Saturday night at 6. Kenny Trahan and Coach Rick Gailey will have that game for you, and you'll find it right here on SportsNOLA.com. Season over for the Covington Lions. Hanville moves on. Wish we had an update for you on the John Ehret-Houghton game. But again, as you said, if Ehret wins, they're coming here. And if Houghton wins, then Hanville's going on the road.
That is correct.
Get on the buses for a road trip.
That is the way it works on the LHSAA bracket. The last team that traveled would get the home team, or the higher rated team on the bracket will get the home team.
Final score on this one again is Hanville holding on and pulling away in the last minute or so to defeat the Covington Lions 31-17. Hanville Tigers 31, Covington Lions 17. Hanville closes 5-6, and Covington closes with that now a 7-game win streak, and they are now 9-2. For Jason Collins and Nat Collins, who worked our camera and producing tonight, and for Wade Kaiser, our color commentator, I'm Ken Berthelot. Thank you very much for being with us. We also want to thank David Faust. He did stats for most of the time until he had to go down on the field to get some quotes from the players. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Rummel, and that's going to be a good one. We got Rummel and Jesuit from Yenni. So tonight from Hanville. Hope you enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Thanks for being with us. I'm Ken Berthelot for Wade Kaiser. Thanks, everyone, and a pleasant good night.